Well, howdy do YouTube. I haven't made a video in probably about 2 to 3 years, so I figured I'd make an update on what's going on with the truck. So, for starters, for those who don't know, this truck is a 2001 F-250 with 7.3. It's a later build date, so unfortunately it does have the powdered metal rods. Not really what I would prefer. I'd prefer the forged rods, but I mean, you know, hey, you gotta deal with what you got. For mods, the truck is on 35s with 20x9 wheels. That's probably going to change. I'm probably going to go to a 20 by 12 with 33s. I would do 22, but I feel like 22s with 33s, it's going to look kind of silly. Be a little bit too small of a tire. You know, you might feel differently, but that's just me. So the truck originally was just an intake and exhaust truck. It didn't have a tuner on it for a long time. I did eventually get a tuner later in 2017. I had a TS chip, no custom tunes, just the can tunes, and that actually ended up frying my transmission about a little over a year and a half later. I'm not gonna lie, I drive the truck pretty hard, so it wasn't really a big surprise to me. I knew it was probably coming. You know, pushing a truck with can tunes and 35-inch tires, it's not really good for the transmission. So, but that happened. It's got a rebuilt transmission in it now. Also blew out the turbo, so it's got a new turbo on it. Just a stock drop-in, nothing special. But as far as performance mods, what I've added to the truck since then is, you're not going to be able to see it, but I have a 5-inch exhaust on the truck. It's a 5-inch turbo back MBRP, no muffler. You know, I like for my shit to be loud. That's just a personal preference. Some guys like it, some guys hate it. I have a PHP Hydra with, I don't know if you can see that or not, Jelly Built Performance tunes. I have ISPRO EV2 gauges. I have pyrometer or EGTs. I have trans temp, and then I have boost. I would like to eventually add a high pressure oil gauge to the truck. Reason for that being, I actually have a Diesel Sight Adrenaline H-Pop in the truck. That doesn't really add a whole lot of performance. I definitely did notice a little bit more responsiveness to the truck. Truck seems to rev a little bit quicker, but that's not enough for me. So as far as performance mods in the future, I'm planning on doing, or I actually already have, I just got to install it, but I have a Irate diesel standard fuel system. For those who don't know what that is, you know, if you're new to the 7.3 community, that composes of a lift pump. Don't turn yellow on me, you son of a bitch. That composes of a lift pump and a regulated return. For those who don't know, these trucks actually have a deadhead fuel system, and it gets rid of that, you know, allows the truck to be a little more efficient, and also helps out with bigger injectors, which, you know, you might be asking, well, your truck has stock injectors, why would you install that fuel system then? Well, because that's fixing to change. I'm probably going, or I am going to be going with full force diesel 205cc injectors. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to go with the 30% nozzles or the 80% nozzles. I'm leaning more towards the 30% because, yes, the 80s will give you more horsepower, but at the same time, the truck will run hotter, and you will also put out a lot more smoke. And, you know, the truck already smokes quite a bit, you know, being a tuned 7.3. And, you know, when I was 16, 17, you know, smoke was cool and all, but, you know, nowadays, you know, whenever I see people just purposely rolling call on traffic, you know, to me, they kind of look like a douchebag. So I like to avoid that, you know. I mean, hell, the diesel community is already under enough fire these days about black smoke and all that shit. So probably going with 205/30 injectors. I'm going to also be going with a KC 300X turbo. Going with the 6373. A lot of people would ask, you know, why aren't you going with the 38R? You know, go with the 66. Well, I'm only aiming for around 450 to 500 horsepower. So, you know, a 66 is really not necessary up until you go above 500. So that's that. I think that's really about it on the truck. Oh yeah, I didn't mention this, but I also have a Smb Cold Air Intake. That's probably going to stay. I absolutely love it. But that's about it on the truck. So I'll make videos as I get these things done, and I'll try to post more often. I know I don't really have many subscribers at all. I think I have like 11 or 12. But, you know, it's just my build. You know, like to make videos about it. Keep the world updated. But that's pretty much it. If you do stumble across this video and you have any questions, leave me a message. If you have any questions that I can't answer, I would recommend contacting 73 Garage. Brandon knows these things like the back of his hand. You know, more so the OBSs than the Super Duties, but he knows 73s pretty well. Brian Jellish, he's actually the owner of Jelly Built. He also is a good source of information. And that's pretty much it. So, if you got any questions, let me know. Thanks, guys.